Let's get started. So Mark Yeung,
Hey.
thank you very much for taking the time to sit down with me. I was actually really, ever since I started thinking about putting these together, you were like top on my list of people that I wanted to talk to because you made such a difference in the way I was able to imagine my brand. So I really, really, really want to thank you. The thing that you don't know that we never really discussed is that for years I've walked around and bounced around the city looking for people that could create
Oh.
one of a kind one-offs. And
hmm
everybody's got minimums, and even if they were doing one or two, the quality wasn't that great. So Mark is owner operator of Fashion Greek USC and Graphix
Yes.
Collab. And so
Yes.
anybody, the five people out there that are my fans that like me, know that I do, custom repurposed apparel that
Yep.
comes from Fashion Greek and Graphix Collab. So
Yes.
you guys are very patient with me, will allow me to walk in with the most rando stuff and,
hmm
with very specific instructions on how to print it. You've done unbelievable embroidery, unbelievable direct to garment printing. The only thing we haven't really played with is silk screening, but I'll get there. I'm just trying to graduate to that point.
For sure.
But so I can't I don't know what to say. I can't thank you enough because I don't know where else in the city I could go and have you. We're gonna do a little show and tell too. I was literally there an hour and a half ago and just picked up an order, and I haven't even looked at it yet. So we're gonna look at that together. We're gonna make it a family.
Awesome.
Um, uh, so tell me a little bit about like how you got to this point. Like what's your background a little bit that led to this point?
Okay, for sure. I'll tell you my whole story. But I do want to thank you as a longtime customer, Vince. And it's a pleasure to be talking to you and talking about my story and to be on your show here. It's really awesome to have a collaboration like this.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, how everything started with me, I went to business school at Cal Poly Pomona, and I joined a fraternity. And I was really active. I did a lot of, I served as president and was very active in this
Cool.
in the council, things like that. So I knew a lot about Greek life, as they call it. And um, this was around 2008, and I was job hopping from job to job, and I was having a hard time landing a good job because of the whole recession. So between one of my jobs, I was helping out my friend that owns a jewelry company that sells to fraternities and sororities,
Oh wow.
and he was looking to move his shop. I was like, let's move it next to Cal Poly, and then we can like start a Greek store and sell fraternity and sorority gear. I don't know anything about selling apparel, but we just did it anyways. And it just started off as a place for all the fraternity sororities to hang out. We just subcontracted to other um, embroidery shops and print shops. We didn't actually do any printing in house. And with the lack of knowledge, I was seeking like a mentor, and I found a mentor. Actually, a mentor found me, and we started this shop here, Fashion Greek at USC, with my mentor. And he mentored me on. His name's Steven. He mentored me on printing and all the newer technologies in the garment industry, like
Wow.
direct to garment printing. Um, what else is there? It was mainly direct to garment printing, and I did some vinyl in college. I used to make those family stickers on the back of the
Yeah,
car
yeah, yeah.
at the mall. That was my college job. So I brought vinyl into the mix, and I just learned more and more. Each year I had the store, just learned more and more about the business. And basically, um, with all the different types of decoration to the garment, we just have it all available here. So someone like you will bring us a crazy project and will basically suggest and recommend the best way to decorate it. But I have to say, Vince, I did work in the hotel industry for a while, and they're 4 seasons to be exact, because their customer service and their reputation as a high-end hotel, um, I learned a lot about how to take care of customers like that with their methods, and I bring that transferable skill to this world. And I've, like you were saying, when you shop around downtown, no one's gonna take care of you. They just want the minimum quantity, which is fine because they don't have the technology to do lower quantity,
True. True.
but they just want your money. That's
Yeah.
that's it. They're not gonna really sit down with you and put your idea onto the computer and put that computer file onto your garment.
Yeah.
So that's how we really differentiate ourselves between, like, within the half a mile radius. There's probably like 10 silk screeners,
Yeah.
and more there's direct to garment printers very close to us because we're so close to the fashion district, whatever. But we really pride ourselves in our customer service, and also the ability for customers like you to come and actually design with a designer on the spot, in person, and not a computer or you know um,
Web
you know
link or
yeah,
totally.
all those other
Yeah.
companies I don't want to mention because people will go there. but but I would like to say we're like the Nordstrom of the print world. And even though Nordstrom is not necessarily doing that well, but I still think it's a great place to shop because of the customer service.
It's totally true. And I think that, you really hit on that, which is a big deal, that, um, the customer service end of it. And I'm really inspired to know that you worked in the hotel industry, because that is all about service. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And, it is, I've learned that how to do that over the years, but it's really underrated in the conversation with, I think, a lot of young entrepreneurs or people in college, and really what it means, and what it looks like to actually give people 100% attention, even sometimes at cost of profit,
yep.
which
Can
is
you hear the
probably the
embroidery?
definition of me. Go ahead.
Do you hear the embroidery? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, I don't hear it actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, good. Who's running the embroidery tonight?
Let me show you. We got David here. He's running our Tajima right now.
David.
Yeah. We're doing what's the embroidery? Oh yeah. We're doing some USC jackets,
Wow.
customized jackets for the Keck School. Not Keck School, sorry, Keck Hospital,
Yeah.
USC. So
Yeah.
they love their Patagonia jackets with their little name on it.
That's cool.
But
David was one of the first guys that I walked in. When I walked in there, David was one of the first guys I talked to. And
yeah,
some of the very early stuff he was having me help me work on, he was really instrumental in terms. I can't say it enough. Like, I had a concept and I brought it to you guys, and then you guys created the possibility for me that really fundamentally changed the vision of what I wanted to do.
awesome. Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
up.
I it's kind of funny. A lot of people want to be designers and make their own things, but I do find myself as a creative, but I don't have an urge to get my design on people's chests. But I love helping people get their idea onto the garment, however they want to decorate it. And then because of our experience in different ways of decorating, we could definitely suggest, something that is long term, or you want a certain texture, the print, you want a certain handle, like softer, or you want it to pop. So we definitely can help you decide which direction you want to go.
Yeah.
Oh, we have our printer here, Arlene.
Arlene.
She's in the background.
Awesome. And so, then you guys started this shop, but I can imagine that, it's not easy, because you're talking about, resources and hardware and software, employees, so it takes a lot of resources to get to the point where you could even offer those kind of services.
Yeah.
And then, and then COVID.
Oh yeah. It's COVID. It really definitely affected a lot of people, and I was expecting. I remember that day. March 23rd was the first day I let go of all my workers. Woo, how can I start getting emotional?
Yeah, that's terrible.
And it was such a weird. We're sitting all in the room together. I was like, guys, this is what we have to do. And I had no idea what was in store for us, or what we had to do. Uh, but I wanted to make sure all my guys were taken care of. I know unemployment was going to be, it's going to help them temporarily, maybe a few months. I know most of my workers were here at least a year, so I know they're going to be taken care of at least half a year. But as you know, COVID lasted way longer than that. But we were able to reopen back. So for March, we opened back in June. Obviously, it was still working. I was actually running the shop by myself for a while, and but I think in times like this, I was still very open to. I knew I had to pivot in some way, so, and I was open to doing different things in sense of just not depending on retail customers walking through our door because we were technically closed, but to start contacting your customers about print on demand, and those customers that print on demand are typically they sell online. So we had to pivot more and start working with customers that have online shops, and those customers that our clients that have online shops didn't get quite as affected to COVID pandemic time as much as the retail customers. So I'm really grateful for that business because they were still doing pretty well, and we were able to still keep on producing their orders during COVID, our online customers specifically. So
Yeah, that's amazing. And I just talked to Kim a couple of days ago, and she told me you
yeah,
guys were doing that, and I was like, huh, interesting.
yeah,
And it started to make me think about it, because everything I have is kind of one of a kind, but I wouldn't mind offering like a single shirt custom available,
yeah,
print to order, so I hopefully you and I can sit down and talk about that, because
yeah.
it would
That's the
still
new thing
fall
right
under, yeah, it would still fall under what I do, and it would be limited. You and I would talk about, a very unique graphic, and then it would appear on my website, and then, if people wanted it, they would basically get it. Maybe we'd number it or something. I don't know, but
for sure.
definitely
It's
looking forward to talking about it.
definitely the future.
Good.
For designers like you, with low overhead in the sense that
Yep.
you don't have like a giant team or a big warehouse. So the beauty of print on demand is you can have a virtual inventory, is like what I like
Yep.
to call it. So you'll have a website like Shopify and have like 6, 10, whatever, 100 items with a shirt with the logo, just say that, right? And if you sell one, we can you'll send us information to our shipping account, and for us to fulfill your order, and then we could just print it on demand.
I love it.
So,
I love it. We are
so that
definitely doing that.
there's actually a lot of companies that do it now,
Yeah.
and they're very big. Like
Yes.
they are scaling it, which is a very awesome and smart idea. We're still, again, a boutique printer, and we're not going to open this service to everyone. Just just as much as we can, because we know our limitations and how much we could produce per day. So again, we will recommend certain ways you can do print on demand. You can do like a rally style where like you get your fans, your 5 fans, Vince,
All
to
5 of them.
order within the week, and then at the end of the week we can do like we'll collect all the orders and do a
Oh,
big
cool. That's a good
print.
idea. Yeah.
So we can recommend certain ways to do how do you say, campaigns,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
I love that.
yeah, things like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Build up to it almost. Yeah. That's good. That's good social chatter too. I think,
yeah, yeah,
talking about that, it's a good way to promote or on that. That's a great idea. I look forward to talking to you about that.
yeah, for
I
sure.
wanted to circle back a little bit to your mentor, because I'm
Yeah,
excited. What was some of the What was it that you were hearing that was like, oh yeah, this can work, I could actually do it? What was sinking down into you from him?
Man, my mentor, Steven, he is amazing. He is an serial entrepreneur.
Wow.
He has started so many businesses, and I just love his energy. He would throw, you know, grab like this metaphor, like 100 darts, and just throw it all at the board and see what
Wow.
sticks. So this idea that he was telling me was having Fashion Greek in the name, Fashion Greek, Greek apparel for fraternities and sororities, to have a shop, like franchise it at every major school across the nation.
Oh,
And
interesting.
that was the original idea, because if you know, direct to garment printers use a digital file. So if I made a TKE shirt, tall cap epsilon, like this generic logo, let's just say it's like a parody of like something popular, um, Pabst Blue Ribbon, like
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
uses their logo or something,
Yeah.
and then use that logo, put it on a website, and someone from Texas A&M wants it, and we can print it at their local shop or something, because we could just share all the files, and then yeah. So
Wow,
that
that's a great
that
idea.
was the that was the big idea.
Yeah.
But as we know, everything's shifting more to just getting everything shipped, shifting to shipping,
Yeah.
and and it doesn't necessarily have to be at a location
Yeah.
as much anymore. So as much as that idea was really awesome and great, which, and I feel like it can still be something in the future, uh, but definitely a lot of the sales is going to online. So we've shifted more to as a fulfillment and production company versus like a retail store.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's exciting. That's really
Yeah.
exciting. That's exciting for me personally. Selfishly, that's really exciting. Um, that's amazing. That's good. I love that vision. And so now that's what's happening in the shop. Talk to me about any technologies that you're seeing, because I mean, normally you would be going to trade shows, you'd be looking at all the technologies and things like that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
probably this year, that's mid to later, that's probably a real possibility too. But what is standing out for you in terms of new technologies for design?
Yeah. Technologies. There's a lot of technology, more and more each year, going into the garment industry and decorating world. I would say we offer at least half of what's out there.
Uh-huh.
There's actually a lot more that I don't. It's hard to explain, but
Without seeing it, sure.
I would say the half that we do offer is the most popular half. Uh, like rhinestones. We don't really do
Right,
rhinestones.
right.
Um, hot fix or whatever they call it. You just iron on the rhinestones.
Right.
Uh, we don't do. We could do dye sublimation, but depending on how large the order is, because we could do like really small orders of dye sublimation, and then we can do large orders, but we would subcontract it to a vendor that we use.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the technologies that we offer are silkscreen, direct to garment printing, which typically works on cotton garments,
Mm-hmm.
and vinyl heat transfer. It basically works on everything. And we just started introducing a new product called direct to film, DTF. And this is pretty cool too. And what we're doing with this is, what's cool about this product, it's kind of a mix of silk screening and direct to garment. And this product can work on a lot of array of types of fabrics. So like polyesters, nylons,
Oh
also
wow.
cotton and blends. And it just pops a lot more than
Oh
DTG.
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. And do you do that in house or you contract that out?
We do it in-house.
Oh
In-house,
wow.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we just
Wow.
started doing it. There's some trade secrets that are not public yet, but we're making it work.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then your silk screening you do out of house too, right? You subcontract that out.
Yeah, yeah, we have a partner, a really good partner. It for our silk screening. He's been doing it for 20 plus years,
Uh-huh.
and he's just down the street. Yeah,
That's killer. That's
yeah,
killer.
yeah. If people that have DTG machines don't want to do silk screen and vice versa. It's just too much maintenance on both sides.
Yeah, and like
Yeah,
for me, like I love silk screen. I wish everything I had could be screened, but the minimums kill you. So until I
yeah.
can get, the kind of traffic that would justify it, it's like, the DTG has saved me because it's been allowed me to like, unlimited play, without the big giant investment. When I was starting out,
Yeah.
because I only did like t-shirts and baby clothes initially, um, my biggest fear was to have like a bedroom full of boxes that were never going to sell. So this idea that I was able to walk in with one with you guys and print it, and I got to say, people stop me on the street, like when I wear what you guys do, people, no joke, stop me on the street and ask me about it, because it's just, between, my genius and you guys' ability to, kind of create completely professional work is really just, it's just the perfect marriage, so
Awesome.
I just want to
I
let you know that.
I just love hearing that. Vince, it really gives me goosebumps when I hear such good feedback. And it's awesome being close to the university. If we do shirts for a certain fraternity, then you'll see that fraternity member wearing the shirt on the street, and they're like,
Oh
"I
yes.
printed that."
Oh,
And
I
sometimes,
know.
sometimes I'll go up to them like, "Hey, I printed your shirt," and he'll be
Yeah,
like,
I
"What?"
love that. I love that.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. That's funny. That's funny. I love that.
In the wild.
So now you guys really filled that space up, and your front counter crew, those guys are always awesome. I love coming in there. Those guys are on point in terms of the service. You should all give them raise and more RAM in their computers. I told them that I was gonna put a tip jar in front of each laptop,
More RAM.
so we could get them more RAM.
That's
Um,
so funny.
but and then like do you envision like expanding to more space, or you're just trying to see what the year is going to be, or where's your head at with that?
Uh, Man, Vince, that's a good question. Uh,
Because I've seen, like, in the last year,
yeah,
I've seen, like, you're talking about like when the pandemic was happening and you were one man show. I remember being in there like a month or 2 months after, and I'm like,
yeah.
dude, I'll work for free. Like, I was so afraid. You guys, I was like, I'll sweep the floor. I'll come in and help you out. Like, I was really afraid that, you guys were going to be in real trouble. And like, we've all seen all our friends have really
Yeah.
desperate situations happening, so I felt really personally involved,
Oh,
and now, like, when I go in, I see like a lot of customers, I see a lot of, busyness behind the counter. So, my hope is that, you're getting some footing and, thinking about world domination.
I've stopped thinking about long-term goals because of COVID. So really, we're just trying to stay alive.
Love it.
And our new, I would say, our new challenge that's coming up is we may have to move out of this space.
Oh
We,
wow.
we love this space, and we're really, I always focus on trying to maximize what I can do in the space that I have with the people that I have. But I know there's also more potential in the business that we do, in terms of like hiring salespeople, and what do we need? We need more sales. Okay, we need more production, and or ability to produce more, things like that. We're at a very good balance right now, with what we can do, how much we can produce, and how many sales we can take. So, and also with the relationships that we have with other businesses, that we could subcontract to, so we could even have more sales and just subcontract infinitely, in a way. But so so that is a focus that I've been working on, and just basically getting more sales, hiring an active salesperson. And
Yeah.
I just feel extremely blessed that most of our, I would say all of our sales have been passive,
That's
just word of mouth. I used to pay for Yelp, but I don't do that anymore.
yeah.
I think I did Yelp for like a year, and it was very expensive. And
Yeah.
Yelp is great. Like I use it as a regular consumer.
Yeah.
So I think the company is I think I would say 80% of the reviews are pretty real
Yeah.
for Yelp, but their sales tactics I don't I don't really approve of.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
how they try to like I really feel like when I started rejecting Yelp, I started getting bad reviews. I was like, this is weird, man.
That's weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, we don't spend money on marketing, and I just feel very blessed that we get all our sales have been passive. So if I just hired a salesperson, I think we would do pretty well in terms of getting more sales.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, but my main focus right now would be to backup plan for where we can be in
Right.
terms of location. I do want to stay on Figueroa near USC.
Hmm.
I love the energy here. A lot of food options.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
close to your freeway.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our shop is so large. We're in a I would say 5,000 square foot place.
Hmm.
We could reduce to like we could do the same operation in a two and a half thousand square foot.
Hmm.
So 2,500 or maybe 3,000 would be
Yeah.
ideal. I would say no smaller than that.
Right.
Um, yeah, if there are any realtors out there, let me know.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm happy to, we all have networks, and I'm happy to put the feelers out. It's not anything I have direct knowledge of, but
Yeah.
there's definitely people know people, so I'm happy to know that. Now, the other thing, this is a good segue into when is your I suggested this the last time we were together. I want to do a client happy hour Zoom party. So I want to, I was there one time and I'm standing at the counter and I met two really cool people. Then I'm like, oh my God, I gotta like meet these people. Like I didn't realize, it didn't occur to me that you had great clients. Of course you do. It's like, we should all know each other. There's probably a lot of cross pollination that could happen.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Two things come to mind. We used to have like really fun holiday parties,
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm not sure if I've invited you, Vince, but definitely next time we have one, you should
Please,
be there.
please, please.
But it's funny, our space, our retail space, which is where you would make the order with the designer.
Yeah.
There's always customers that would run into each other
Yeah.
and start chatting it up, just like how you're explaining, and that makes me really happy too. And that's how we kind of got our design name called Graphix Collab. But we're really just collaborating with you, our clients, and there's so much collaboration happening just between clients and clients that hang out together,
Yeah.
that meet each other in the retail space.
There's a real value there. I mean, I mean, of course it's a, great self-promotion tool, but aside from that, organically, I think just from a community
Yeah.
standpoint, it's, you should pat yourself on the back because not everybody can really create that culture honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I do love that word is perfect. Organic. It is definitely organic. And I do want to promote that. Oh, another idea that I've been wanting to take off um, is paying it forward in the sense my mentor helped me get to where I am, and I want to pay it forward and help others. And if you've worked with me, maybe I didn't necessarily need to help you, but other customers that are trying to start a business, I give them all the information for free,
For
like
sure.
what you need to do to get your resellers, your EIN, your business license, all these things. Don't get LLC right away. Like, what's the point of paying $800? So a lot of free education and all that I give to my customers, and I wanted to start some type of class, like a business 101 class
Yeah.
that I can invite people to, and because a lot of my customers are just starting their own business
For sure.
and they don't really know what they're doing, but they know that they want to make shirts. So
Yeah, yeah. I think that's brilliant. That's really genius. You know, and I
Yeah.
sit in front of the class because I never know what the fuck I'm doing. So, that's really amazing.
I will take well. I'll plan that one day because I don't want it to be virtual. I want it to be in person.
I agree.
So there's going to be that organic, mingling and all that. And once this whole COVID thing is really settled down and start use the retail space, do one evening class, business 101 or whatever, and introduce them to basically help people start a business,
Yeah,
and especially help them in the retail world, or
I
the
love it.
retail, sorry,
I love
the
it. Well,
the apparel world.
yeah.
Yeah.
With that specifically, if there's any way I can support, please don't hesitate to ask. In
Yes. Thank you so
general,
much.
as a blanket, if there's anything I could do to support, please don't hesitate to ask. You know,
Oh, thank you
I
so
am
much.
greatly appreciative of what you guys do, and I'm inspired by what you've built. So it kind of
Oh, thank
is
you.
like, I sit there and I'm like, I can, well, Mark can do it. But no, in all honesty, I'm really inspired what you built because it's very impressive. You know, you should be proud.
Oh, thank you, Vince. Very kind words. You're a very kind man, and I really appreciate all your return business and this promotion that you've paid me $1,000 to do. I'm just kidding.
Well,
No, no,
that's his rate if you want him. I mean, don't cry about it.
I'm just playing around. But
No,
yeah, you're such an awesome person.
ah,
I want to help you out and promote whatever you are doing as well, because works both ways. So we
ditto.
take care of each other.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, how about a little show and tell? I want to show the folks
Yeah. Sure.
a little bit of what you've done. Literally, there's a bag in front of me that I just picked up an hour and a half ago from your front desk, and I haven't even seen it yet. So, I
Oh,
want
I hope it came out okay.
first, I just want to like, oh, look at the invoice, all free. Wow, thanks, Mark. Yeah, really kind of you. You're such a champ. All right,
That's
so
funny.
these are t-shirts that I had done, and this is the beauty of like coming in with a t-shirt, and you guys do a t-shirt that pretty much could be, at Fred Siegel on a rack. It's that high quality. But
Woo.
what I'm going to do is I should have brought them with me, but I'm going to cut into this the origin of where these graphics came from because they've all come from matchbooks. So they're literally,
Oh.
that big, when they start off.
Hmm.
And I go into Photoshop and, James has helped me with like Illustrator and stuff like that. And I'm going through and like optimizing this image by pulling the some of the elements of it and then making these graphics. And then you guys do an amazing job getting these DTG on shirts. So V-neck women's shirt.
Oh, wow. That came
Check
out great.
that out.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
This is from an ad agency, I think in the 70s out of San Francisco. And that was their logo.
Wow.
This one was like a very vintage. I think it's like a mid-century graphic that I found.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that crazy? This looks just
Yeah.
like our cat that we lost last year. So we're like, it's Zuri. And then
Yeah.
this was
You
also,
wanted that print really high. I remember.
yeah, I mean, this is really
Yeah.
unique. You guys really took the time to do this because,
Yeah. Because it's great that you called that out, because I would have said the same thing too, because the V neck is so low. You want to get that logo as high as possible. Yeah.
yeah, it would have looked too low. If you put the tail at the bottom of the V-neck, it would
Hmm.
have been the whole thing would have been too low.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really perfect placement. And the
Yeah.
eyes
Good
really
call.
pop. James helped me pick the color of the eyes. When you give him a raise, you can pat him on the back for that. And this was from some bar.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I like that one.
So if you haven't noticed, the theme is cats. So, and then, what can I say? The big showcase piece,
Yes.
military,
Yes.
green
This
jacket,
is the cool stuff.
custom
Wow.
embroidered. This is the one people stop me in the street for. This stuff is
Yeah. That was on the machine, our embroidery machine, for like maybe like 3 hours.
You know, when the guys in the back come forward and they bring it, and like 2 or 3 of them come out and like, what do you think? I know it's a family affair.
It's awesome.
We even did like, I removed the pocket.
Oh yeah, yeah. That came out nice.
Call it the ghost pocket. That's what it used to be. And then even with the, you know, like you guys even started doing these like messenger bags and stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when you brought that in.
That's a lot.
I love that. I love the artwork that you used.
So, you know, this is really exciting. I don't know if you guys have been listening to about crypto art or NFTs or anything like that, but you know, for me going forward, when this stuff goes on the site, my sort of vision is to also incorporate some of that as NFTs. So, you know, even at the point where, and this will, I'm going to come to you for, is that if I do that, I want to be able to create a QR code or something that is actually attached to the garment that would point to the NFT that is associated with the garment. So
that's cool.
I'm thinking about, like, you know, kind of jumping on board with the current conversation where art is going, you know. So that's kind of my vision going forward. You know, we have a site about to launch, you know, in April, you know, and so in the future, I'm hoping that's going to be there. And then, you know, any visuals that you and I can work on together or cross promote, you know, don't hesitate to ask. And so, you know, use me in any way you can, because I'm happy to contribute.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much, Vince.
But I want to really thank you for your time. I'll go back, let you go back to work. And then next week when I come by, I'm going to bring some D-size batteries and replace the smoke detector battery that I keep hearing.
It's so high up there, we can't reach it.
Maybe we'll rent a ladder or something.
Bring us a like 30-foot ladder.
Yeah, we'll take care of that for you. I'm sure your employees might go postal if you just keep letting that go.
That's so funny.
Thank
I don't
you
even hear it. I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, it's a mental state. Mark, thank you very, very much. Please,
always a pleasure.
Give everybody, you know, big props for me, because I really, really do appreciate it. And I look forward to it. I'll see you next week.
Yes.
And but have a great weekend, and best to you and your family. And I can't thank you enough for making the time to do this.
Oh, always a pleasure, Vince. Anything for you. And please, can't wait to see you again.
We'll see you soon.
Please,
thank you.
can't
Thank
wait.
you. Take care.
Right. See you, Vince.